Hello everyone, it is your boy back at it again with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about abortion and how it's really bad, and in fact it's so bad that it's murder. So anyway, let's jump right into the video. Now, one important question that people ask when we're dealing with pregnancies is, when does life start? Now, if you're a normal human being, you would say life starts at conception. Now, what exactly is conception? Now, conception is in a moment of fertilization when a sperm reaches the egg, their genetic material emerges, a zygote forms a single cell with a full set of human DNA, mind you, and the cell begins dividing and developing. Developing what? A human being, because it has human DNA. And human beings inside the belly of a woman should have human rights. But then again, it's not classified as human because it's a lump of cells. No, it's not. It is it has human DNA, it has its very own DNA, and it is developing into a human being with its very own human DNA, and it should have human rights. You're welcome. Now, during conception, there's certain stages where the baby is developing. So we have fertilization, that is conception. Implantation, pregnancy is medically defined as having begun. No. Organ formation, after 5 to 10 weeks, major structures form like a heart, brain, spinal cord, all that stuff. Viability, a fetus must survive. May survive outside the womb with medical support, and then birth, when baby becomes an independent organism. Um, no. So from a biological perspective, they're taking it from a scientific perspective. Biology and science kind of go hand in hand. It is what it is, science. But they get things wrong because if they classify birth, the baby becomes an independent organism. No, it is already an independent organism right at fertilization because it has its very own DNA. If it doesn't have its own DNA, its own human DNA, mind you, it is a human being. Uh, it should be an independent organism right there and then at fertilization. Once it has its own DNA, it's independent, but it's growing inside the mother's belly and all that stuff. Pregnancy is medically defined as having begun at implantation. No, fertilization is like that doesn't even make sense, because it says on the top, fertilization, a unique human organism begins developing, and this whole thing contradicts itself. A unique human organism begins developing at fertilization, and then pregnancy is medically defined as having begun. What are you talking about? And then birth, a baby becomes an independent organism. So which one is it? Is it birth or fertilization? Because you're saying that a unique human organism begins developing at fertilization, and then at birth the baby becomes an independent organism. What are you like? What are you talking about? Anyway, there is then this the psychological perspective, which is just stupid, which is just crazy. Consciousness, self-awareness, ability to feel pain, capacity for relationships, moral agency. Now, this is just nuts. Consciousness, like, while the baby's developing, I think around 8 weeks or so, it can detect the mother's voice, self-awareness. If you can detect your mother's voice, you have consciousness, and you have self-awareness. The ability to feel pain. I'm pretty sure a baby in the belly can feel pain because it has pain receptors and all that stuff. Capacity for a relationship. If you can hear your mother's voice at certain weeks, you can you have a relationship, and plus you're connected. So I mean, like, you have a crazy connection. Anyway, these between biological and philosophical perspectives into what life is, it's just completely contradictory to not only to themselves, but to each other as well. But we take a Christian and like perspective on abortion and life. Life starts at fertilization. God knits you in your mother's belly. He knows you in your mother's belly. He knows you when life begins. He knows who you are. Like that's just crazy to even think about. But it goes against Christianity because it goes against the Ten Commandments. Now, what the Ten Commandment I'm talking about is that thou shalt not murder. Murder is taking of an innocent life, and if life starts at conception, then and you take that away, you're murdering. You're murdering life. Like that's what you're doing. So this whole idea of life is just life starts at conception, and you shouldn't take it because you're breaking the Ten Commandments and committing murder. That's simply how it is. Now, when it comes to abortion, why do people do this? Now, there are like percentages here, and I'm going to show you the percentages. A large surveys of abortion patients constantly find the most people give multiple overlapping reasons, and they are overwhelmingly about sustainability, safety, and responsibility. Okay, notice sustainability, safety, and responsibility. Now let's look at the percentages. Not financially prepared, 73%. Not the right time, not ready, with 74%. Partner issues, 48%. Need to care for an existing child, 38%. Interferes with education or career, 30%. That's just completely selfish, by the way. Emotional and mental readiness, 48%. Health reasons, 12%. Being forced upon, 1%. Incest is 0.5%. So this idea that women being forced upon and then getting pregnant, which does happen, is only 1% of the reason. Now, and a lot of these reasons on top are almost completely selfish. And what I mean by this is not financially prepared. Like, you best get prepared. You got 9 months to prepare for this child. And it might be, like you say, it's not that simple. Well, listen, you have a responsibility now to take care of this child that you are developing, and you did deeds, right, in the bedroom, and then you ended up being pregnant, which is a miracle, by the way. The baby inside your belly is a complete miracle, and you say, well, I want to save money, I'm just going to abort this baby. Which is just a horrible thing to think about, but not the right time. I mean, like, and not ready. Like, a pregnancy is a beautiful thing. It is a complete miracle by God that you are pregnant. And like, that little baby in your belly is an amazing thing. And just to say, well, I'm not ready, I'm just going to get rid of it, is it's just like, you best get ready. You have 9 months to get ready for this baby, and if you don't take responsibility now, and you're just going to do away with it because you're not going to show accountability not for your own actions and all this stuff, you have a responsibility. You can't just murder somebody because you just don't want to deal with it. Like, if I took care of my uh somebody from a nursing home and said, I don't want this responsibility, and I murder that old person, then like, that's just horrible, right? And it's the same thing with the baby. If I say I don't want to take care of this baby, I'm just going to get rid of it, that's just horrible, right? Partner issues. Listen, like, I'm sorry that if you are being abused, but like, if you're sleeping with a crackhead, then like, then you're stupid. Like, you got to be able to take responsibility for your own actions. And in like one sense, like, if you're going to sleeping around with bad men that beat people and they're unstable, that like, it's kind of your fault for getting involved with these people in the first place, right? Why go hang around with a crackhead that beats people when you have, like, you can make better friends than that, like maybe at the gym or at church, like, and you're going around like woman abusers. So or like all this and that. Like, it's just terrible. Need to care for an existing child. Well, you know what? If you can take care of one, you can take care of two. Interferes with education or career, that is completely selfish, right? Interferes with your education or your career. You're trying to get ahead, really? Like, like your education or your career. So since you're like this little baby is interfering with your progression, like I'm just gonna do away with my baby because it's getting in the way of my career. That's just completely nuts. Emotional and mental readiness. You bet. You best get ready. Now and health reasons, like we have like some of the like we're in the first world country, and I'm Canadian, and if you have any sort of health reasons, I don't know what they might be are at the top on the top of my head, but if you do have health reasons, a C-section, I know for a fact, can save you and the baby. Okay? So this is just do not if these are the reasons, then you best come up with a better reason because this is just nuts. Now, when it comes to religious perspectives on when life starts, Catholic and Protestant traditions believe that life begins at conception. That is correct. Yes. Judaism, personhood begins at birth. The fetus is considered potential life. Now, Islam, many scholars teach ensoulment at 40 days or 120 days, depending on the school of thought. Oh, it just depends. No, the Muslims can never get anything right. Hinduism and Buddhism views vary, but many traditions emphasize continually of consciousness across lifetimes. Now, I can completely destroy Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and Buddhism right here, right now, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to be focusing on life, and life starts at conception like any normal human being that ever exists. When life starts, it's at conception. I will argue you and debate you tooth and nail till the day that I pass away and go to heaven on that life starts at conception, and I won't stop ever. So you may as well just not even bother to debate me because I won't no. Anyway, now what countries do abortion the most? Now Greenland, which is surprisingly is at 84.7 per 1,000 women. Vietnam, Madagascar, uh Biazo, Cuba, and these are the numbers per woman in that conduct abortions. Now, worldwide, globally, there has been an estimated 73 million abortions per year, and nearly half of all pregnancies are unintended. Oh, that's like 73 million abortions per year. That's just crazy nuts. Now, a little history to abortion. There is a very old uh artifact, actually, Venetian relief from Pozo Moro, Spain, showing child sacrifice to two-headed monster enthroned on left. The head of and legs of the child are visible sticking up from the basket in the monster's hand. A pig lies on the offering table in front of the monster. The monster may be Malak, a demon referred to in the Bible, which prohibits worship and child sacrifice to him. Then we can go to Leviticus 21-5 and elsewhere if these verses are correctly interpreted. Now they are correctly interpreted. Now let's go to Leviticus 20. Now hold on. I have it on my phone. I'm already at Leviticus actually. Wow, so cool. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Again you shall say to the children of Israel, whoever of the children of Israel, or the strangers who dwell in Israel, who gives any of his descendants to Malak, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from his people, because he has given some of his descendants to Malak to defile my sanctuary and profane my holy name. And if the people of the land should any way hide their eyes from the man when he gives some of his descendants to Malak, and they do not kill him, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and I will cut him off from his people and all who prostitute themselves with him to commit harlotry with Malak. So this artifact is actually really, really old. I actually have a book right over there about it. But this artifact, it goes back to the Bible days, and then how they were sacrificing their children to Malak and all this stuff. And actually, they found almost 1,000 bones and then fetus bones on top of that, to where this place where Pozo Moro was in Spain. So they actually found the bones of fetuses and children there. So this abortion goes back thousands of years. Now, there is a story which is a horrific story, mind you, that I found on this website. It says Miss C, who became pregnant through forced love at 13, was brought for an abortion while in care. Recently told the Irish Independent that the abortion was harder to deal with than the being forced upon. Now, I hear this story all the time from people and research and all that stuff, that the abortion is more stressful and more damaging emotionally to the woman than the actual uh, pregnancy itself and the baby itself. So, whatever hardships that the pregnancy uh, will bring, it is you're worse off getting an abortion than you are than keeping the baby. So you're better off keeping the baby in almost in all circumstances actually than to get rid of it. In in this example. In this study, it shows that abortion increased the risk of mental health disorders, a risk that would be compounded by the trauma of being forced upon. A survey of hundreds of survivors by the US based Fortress International discovered that women who aborted their babies conceived in being forced upon reported more pain, guilt, and anger than women who did not abort. Abortion also ends the life of the baby who is innocent in carrying of any crime and who is not responsible for the circumstances in which she was conceived, or he, whatever. So, when you put up go up for an abortion, like I said, you are worse off than if you had kept the baby. Now, I don't think it's very nice to be forcing women to get an abortion by either manipulation or like withholding options from them as well. Now, some say, well, abortion should be an option. I would disagree because like it's actually worse for the woman than than not getting an abortion. So abortion is worse off, makes the woman worse off than keeping the baby. So if it is an option, that option should not be viable at all because the woman's actually going behind and like emotionally, physically, all this stuff, and stress ruins your body and all this and that. So this idea that actually abortion is good for the woman, it is not. It's not at all, and you shouldn't be manipulated into doing anything. But you have to understand where like what is the best option. And I'm telling you from research that you are better off keeping the baby for your emotional, physical, and everything health. And on top of that, you have support systems, financial support systems. You have the church prayer. Oh, that's a prayer is such a powerful thing, and I'll say that till I die as well. That prayer is a powerful thing, but realistically, if what kind of monster would you be if you took away one of the best options for a woman to recover from being forced upon, than a baby? Like a baby is such a good option for recovery, and then you get to nurture and all this stuff, and you're taking that away and manipulating a vulnerable woman who needs support to do something that she doesn't even know what she's getting herself into, which is not very nice at all. So this idea of women uh being manipulated really bothers me as well. So like, it's just a horrible thing. So this is why I'm giving it to you straight. Like, this is how it is, and shoot me if you don't like it. Now, when we apply support systems to a woman who has been forced upon, I like prayer. Prayer is such a powerful thing. What prayer does, it reduces stress and anxiety, a sense of comfort and emotional grounding, lower feelings of loneliness, increase hope and optimism, a feeling of connection to God, uh, just to God. And like, if you pray to Mary, then you have lost your complete mind. Pray to God. Pray to the one who knows you, who loves you unconditionally. Pray to the one that will look after you, know like, and who loves you and supports you. God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, all three, they're like, they love you. Like, God loves you. Uh when it comes down to emotionally calming the nervous system, creating a sense of control in all situations, prayer can give people a structured way to express fear, grief, or confusion, which is I exactly lift. If you're angry, lift it up. If you're sad, lift it up. If you're happy, lift it up. If you're grieving, lift it up to God. Okay, strengthen social support. Many people pray together as well, so this idea of coming together with the Lord, God will show up, and when two or more people come together, He will be there. Uh, meaning a prayer, meaning making people prayer helps some people frame suffering within a larger story, which can reduce distress. So this is just prayer. This is just prayer right here. And there's so many more options out there. Financial support, your church family. If you don't have a church family, get one. Uh, Government support, women shelters, uh, family, friends. Like, you have so much out there. You just need to know where to look. And prayer is such a good option. This is just one option. So I would suggest you getting prayer, and just as a start, especially if you've been forced upon. Now, what is the aftermath of an abortion? Like, what happens to the baby if the baby is aborted? Now, there's this thing in the US called fetal tissue donation. Now, the US law, Act of 1993, makes it illegal to sell fetal tissue for vulnerable concentration. Clinics may only recover minimal handling costs. Canada is similar, prohibits the sale of human tissue. Online, only ethical consent based on donation is permitted. Now, this is like, sounds good, but there's so many loop arounds, and I'm going to show you. So we can go to this website, and it says, by law, fetal tissue from abortions can only be used if the mother gives her consent to have it used. Whether or not this is actually how it works in practice is questionable, like I said. Some investigative reports have found that women's consent is often pressured or violated in some ways. So, like manipulation, uh, pressure, social pressure, all this and that. Sometimes abortionists will simply take the tissue they want without the mother even knowing. There you go. Like, that's actually that's crazy. Now, I also have emails, and according to this email, it is strongly preferred to have a male fetus if all possible. However, after we dose the mice, we have procured with surgery. So at that point, undermined sex or female is better than no tissue at all. So that's just crazy. Given, and then we have another one. Given how old the mice are, 12 weeks, we will use frozen tissue. Fresh tissue is always our preference, but I don't think we can wait another week. We are going to receive more mice in early September, so we will try for more tissue then. I hope supply issues will resolve themselves by that time. And this is crazy. This is crazy. So not only are you manipulated into giving your baby up, uh, like between social norms, the specific language that manipulates you. they are taking your baby and doing science experiments on them by giving it to mice and then using it for medicine, uh, all this stuff, and like it's just crazy. And it's all manipulating women. Like you don't do that. You don't play with a woman's heartstrings at all, especially if she's vulnerable. But this is what people do. They take the vulnerable heartstrings of women, manipulate it so they can take advantage of them, and tell them that it's okay to get rid of your baby. And then behind the scenes, behind closed doors, they're doing science experiments with your own children that have been aborted. And I just can't sit here and let it happen. Like, that's just crazy. So I hope you guys look at this and see the truth behind it, and you see how evil it is. And it's not simply a lump of cells, it is a human life. Okay? But they're taking it and doing horrible things. I mean, when does the evil stop? It's just horrible, horrible, and it gets horrible behind closed doors. It's horrible from the beginning. And I hope you guys take this video and learn something from it and enjoy it. Well, as much as you can, because this was a hard video to make. So I hope like you learn something and see a different perspective on things and keep God close. Especially if you're especially if you're hurting and all that stuff. So I peace out, players.